And welcome back to American Agenda. I'm Tom Basili. Turning now to this. Author Michael Wolff claiming in his new book, Landslide, that Fox News gleefully brought down Donald Trump. Fox News took glee in shockingly calling Arizona for Joe Biden before any major network, putting an end to Donald Trump's re-election chances. Former President Trump even tweeted about the situation at the time, saying, quote, "The biggest difference between the 2016 election and 2020 was Fox News." So let's bring in our panel for their thoughts on all of this. All right, I want to start off with you, AJ. Kind of an interesting take, sort of a broadside against a cable news behemoth.
Yes, and this was an unfortunate development, even during the election when Fox News was calling states before even CNN or MSNBC in favor of Biden, and they hadn't even confirmed the count. But I think what we're seeing is the takeover that happened with Rupert Murdoch's sons, who are not really conservatives and are more interested in playing nice with the media establishment. And so it's taken a pivot in who its audience is and how its commitment to truth. You know, it used to be that you could tune into Fox and see something that you wouldn't on any other network. You'd be able to see the truth, and so we have to actually hold them accountable that your audience is still conservative and they want to know what's the reality of things. They don't want your spin and they don't want your bias. And playing nice with the media establishment is not worth it.
Stacy, how surprising is this really? And we did learn that Lachlan Murdoch and his wife did contribute some $2 million to Senate Democrats and I believe to the Biden campaign, to the Buttigieg campaign. That there has been a bit of a change over at Fox.
Well, I mean, I look at it from the holistic viewpoint, which is I wasn't very happy with the coverage on election night, but they still have Tucker Carlson, who is very conservative, and he does actually take on all of the tough issues from the vaccine to the deep state to the fact that he's so good at taking down the establishment that he is being surveilled by the NSA. So I take a holistic approach at it. Hannity is still there. They still have some very strong conservative voices, Gutfeld. So I want more options, not less. It disturbs me that we have MSNBC, CNN, NBC, and then all of the local channels. They're all left-leaning. And then you only have OAN and Newsmax and Fox on the right. Yeah. And those, I mean, obviously the ratings juggernaut has been Fox, and now Newsmax is really, coming on strong. I want to see 4 or 5 really huge conservative networks, because that would reflect an audience in the United States that has critical mass. So we have to do more on the ground. Of course, I'm interested in what people do on television, but my main concern is what Americans are doing on the ground to spread the conservative message, to talk about our Judeo-Christian founding, to help each other, and to create more community and less division, because the left is actually creating a ton of division, and they want to bring that same division from their side to the right. And we are usually much happier, much better looking. We have much more. And so I want to focus on maintaining that and growing that part of our success.
Trey, your thoughts on these comments? It is suggested almost as if this was something from an editorial standpoint. And I was here that night. I was shocked that they called Arizona when they did. We've all been through this before. It was especially with 2000 and how it does change. It can change momentum, particularly for folks that might still be voting. We've certainly seen a shift in Chris Wallace's attitude. He's certainly gone further to the left in terms of the way that he's treating the Biden administration. Your comments on this?
Yeah, I think that you can look at this from an editorial perspective and then broaden it out to whatever kind of business model some may be trying there at Fox. Let's look at the editorial. I completely agree with Stacy that, look, there's some great talent on Fox that speaks the truth nightly. But we're looking right now at the newsroom and who was making decisions that election night. And not revealing sources, I will tell you that people that I spoke with that next day were very angry. Insiders at Fox were furious with Fox for making that call that early. and question it still today. There's still anger and fallout. Let's look at the business side of it, though. I do think that things have changed since the Murdoch sons began to get involved a lot more. And those are valid questions too. Who they're giving money to, what their political leanings are, if they're running this from the top down. But I would ask, what are you thinking? Do you want to go into an oversaturated market with center-left or left-leaning publications, websites, and news channels?
Right, sure.
Because there's plenty of it.
Yeah, and I don't think that, maybe they don't care because they do have a political, a particular political leaning. Some of the Murdoch children. I, for one, am very honored to that. In here, this is independent media. Nobody calls and tells me, well, you can't be pro-life and pro-faith and pro-freedom on the air. So. Thank you, panel, for those comments on this. Very provocative new book. Stand by. We're going to be coming right back to you.